Yo, why are we all like in this like fall pastel?
That's what I'm saying.
Is that just a vibe lately though? Is like fashion going that way towards these colors, or is
Yeah.
that just us?
I think monochromatic is like the neutral monochromatic thing has been a thing for like 3-4 years, maybe 5.
What was Des wearing? Pause in like her teenage years.
Unpaused, Des was wearing baby fat and apple bottom jeans.
Yeah?
No boots with the fur.
Ah, okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
Wait, what year did you graduate again?
High school?
Yeah.
2011.
Oh yeah, so you're not that far away from me.
No.
Okay, because I'm like baby fat. What you know about that?
Baby fat. My coat was, I had one baby fat coat and a South Pole coat.
You had South Pole?
And I had
What
Pepe
you-
jeans.
What you know
Hello.
about them?
Hello.
What
Hello.
you know? What you hold on, Priscilla?
What you thought this
Do
was?
you know about them?
Rockaware.
What year did you graduate? 2007. Oh, so you're my age. Wow. So yeah, you know about all that.
Oh yeah.
What were you rocking?
Echo.
Oh, Echo.
Echo,
Unlimited?
BB.
Yeah, no, I was in middle school. I was probably rocking like a lot of those clothes, like baby fat,
Okay.
South Pole.
Julia's like, what's that?
What the heck are they
When I was,
talking
like,
about?
15, I turned into like an Abercrombie poster.
Ah, okay.
No, I
Hollister, yeah.
loved baby fat. Kimora Lee was so popping back in the day. Baby fat was a vibe.
Now, Javi, what about you?
How about the winter coats? You guys know Triple Fat Goose?
Nah, that was later.
You know Triple Fat Goose?
I don't. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was later.
Mm.
Do you know about that, Julia?
No, Canada Goose.
Yeah, Canada Goose.
Wait,
How about this one?
I do.
Triple Fat Goose.
Yes.
That's the
I
OG.
do.
That's what everyone used to rock before Montclair was cool.
Oh.
Yeah, now everybody got the Monty.
Yo, those
Yeah.
Montclairs are stupid expensive.
So expensive.
I used to think that North Face was expensive until they started doing the Montclairs.
The Montclairs.
Yeah, Montclair, bro. It's like $1,000 for a basic ass jacket.
Yo, I literally had like, I remember like I was like, you know what? Let me try to get my game up a little bit. And I was like, you know, I'm gonna get a Montclair.
No, the fuck.
Yeah,
we're
no, you're not.
You gotta get
Exactly. Yo, I looked at that shit. I thought that shit was like $500. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. It's like Canadian Goose prices.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, even that shit's
I
crazy.
like
But
it,
the
though.
Goose, though, I've had a Canadian Goose. They're worth the money.
They're
Like,
fire.
It's worth the money. And like Montclair is not my style because it's too flashy. Like their bubble jackets, it's like just not mine. It's like a high gloss black.
Very shiny.
Yeah, not for me.
I do. I like it. It's
But
it's
the
kind of
Goose-
fly.
The Goose is tough, bro.
With some fire kicks,
Mm.
that would go
Yeah,
stupid.
with the long
Yeah.
trench. They gotta get the long trench one.
I be wanting to get on my trench shit. I've
That
been
shit's tough.
wanting to go that vibe too,
Yeah.
but not yet. I gotta slim down first. I gotta slim down to get on the trench coat vibe. But
Ooh, like a gray one.
yeah,
A
or
gray
black.
trench. Yeah,
Yeah,
but I
both.
feel like a
You
gray
think gray for
trench.
me?
Hell yeah. I
Mm.
feel like you would be able to style that with like even with what you're wearing right now with a gray
What-
trench
yeah,
coat. Oof.
that's what I would wear. I wouldn't be so much extra. I'd still be in like my golfer, sweats type of thing. That's just literally that's like my vibe lately. But yo, when I was, what, it's funny because jackets is the one thing that I've always like, you know what, I'll invest on jackets.
Yeah, because it'll last you years. Like I think I bought my Canadian Goose when I was like 19, 20, and I just sold it last winter.
Mm.
So it lasted me a long ass time.
I only made one really stupid jacket purchase that was expensive.
Mm.
You know my pink, the send nudes one.
Oh, I remember that jacket.
You ever seen it?
I feel like I have. I feel like
I've
I
dropped a
have.
couple. I don't wear it too much because it's very out there. It's very
Mm.
pink and very just like send nudes is huge.
That's tough.
But
I like that one.
that one was like a $400 jacket.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But that shit was fly.
Yeah.
It was fly.
But back in the day though, saving up for a North Face.
Now North Faces are relatively cheap. Like it's still like $200
I
for
was
a
gonna
jacket,
say like
but
200.
that's not
$250.
crazy for a good jacket because North Face has good quality.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a big label person, so I won't spend a lot of money on like I will take my ass to Marshalls
Yeah.
quickly.
I'm not a
Quickly.
label person either, but some brands just have better suppliers, so it's better quality. I shop at
The
Marshalls
Canada
too.
Goose.
Mm.
The
Well,
Canada
yeah,
Goose is a great example.
Yeah, but they have a markup on their products too, though.
It is funny. I was literally just talking with a friend about that to a friend the other day because you know what randomly actually shout out to Mikey, Uncle Mikey. I was talking to him because you know when you get old, right? Like you just invite friends to go with you to get socks. Like that's just little. I was like, I had a little time and I was like, give him a call. I was like, yo, what you doing? You want to come with me to go get some socks? It felt like I felt so old, but and I say that to say is because Nike socks,
No, I refuse.
I know because they're expensive.
Yeah, I refuse.
It's a big difference.
I don't care.
Oh.
Marshalls.
You
Well,
do too, right?
You can get Nike socks at Marshalls
There you
for
go.
like $18 for a 6
Yeah,
pack.
I don't care where you get them, but it is a difference.
Really?
All my life I wore Nike socks.
Really?
Really?
All my life, dude. To this day, my mom makes fun of me because I wear Nike socks all the time. I'm wearing them right now.
I didn't really remember. Like,
Zooms into
Yeah,
Abby's
for real.
shoes.
yeah, no, me too, yo. Fuck it, boom. Here you go.
The socks right
All right, there you go.
Not you guys getting your stretches for the night.
here.
Exactly.
Stretch the hammies.
Actually, I was moving today, so I did a whole moving trip today.
A movie. What'd you do?
I helped a friend move.
Oh, literally.
Literally moving.
Yeah,
That's very kind of you, Joe.
That is very kind.
yeah, no. Shout out to Julia. She helped us out, too.
Aw,
She-
shout out
she,
to Julia
She got
all
us
the time.
to the U-Haul. Yeah, she came in
Nice.
clutch. She was like, "What the?" She probably was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like on a random Thursday. Nah,
Aw, Julia.
shout out to my friend. But yeah, no, actually, no. Fuck it, now I'm taking off both shoes. Fuck it, we're getting comfy. We're getting comfy. So but on the real, I remember back in the day, used to at Foot Locker. Sometimes they would have the crazy deal where you get the extra socks or whatever. And I didn't really remember how it hit until recently. I went to go get I think these, and I'm like, yo, they're white. Like, the white shoes. I gotta get,
White
some white
sock, yeah,
socks. And I was like, holy shit, I've been depriving myself.
Oh,
Yeah.
what is it? Is it like compression?
Yeah.
And those are the regular ones. You can get like the elite socks that have like I got.
Oh
new
yeah, these are
ones.
just the regular
Yeah,
shits.
they have pads, like small little pads on the bottom for your feet, like extra cushion. It's amazing.
And that's OD.
Those are the socks you'll pay $20 for one pair.
See,
know what I'm
but
saying?
I'm sorry. I get it, but also
But like
Hanes has never done me dirty.
Oh yeah, I got the Hanes too, the low.
Old
cut.
Navy has never done me dirty.
I'm gonna get you. When's your birthday's coming up?
September
Couple months.
27th.
Yeah, a couple months.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you some
You gonna
socks.
get me some socks?
Yeah, I'm gonna get you.
Joe, you a real one, man.
No, I know
Thank
it sounds crazy because as you get older, you appreciate these fucking
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
I was actually really excited. I got because I got a few pairs, and I was like, I'm gonna ask Jay if she wants one, or is she gonna look at me like I'm crazy? She was like, Nah, I'll take one. I was
Oh.
like, Yes, she appreciates the socks.
Yeah, it's-
Socks and undies, man. Socks
Yeah.
and undies.
That's gonna be the name of this episode.
Socks and undies.
Socks and undies. Nah, but as I've gotten older, I've definitely become to appreciate like more expensive certain things of clothing because you notice the difference.
Yeah.
Fucking big time.
You know, one of the things that I have as, you know how you had me do that activity where you write out all of the things that happen in your ideal life with
Yes.
all of the unlimited monies.
Yes.
One
Julia,
of-
you should do that next.
It's such a good practice. Basically, what you do is that you give yourself no limit to a budget that fulfills the life that you wish you had if nothing was off limits. And then you calculate the cost of that of nothing off limits life. And so, you know, the type of house that you want, what the mortgage would cost on that type of house, the kind of car that you want, and what type of payments you would put on that, the lifestyle that you would want to live, the things that you're investing in. So one night I'm writing all these things down, and I start realizing I have this very high lux, these high lux habits and like desires. And one of them, to my surprise, was that I would want all of my clothing to be authentic, 100% cotton and authentic leather. Everything I own, I would want to be 100% cotton and all leather. I would want all my jewelry to be 24 karat gold. I would want all of my diamonds to be real. And then I got into the other stuff. Like I would want to have Basquiat paintings that I would invest in.
Mhm.
I would want to have Matisse paintings that I would invest in. Like the list went on and on. But that was the first time that I realized that I was like, I really am bougie on a budget. Like, wait until I don't have a budget no more. Then we
Yeah.
really gonna have problems.
Do you remember what the number came to?
You know, you told me it wasn't that high, and it shocked me. You were like, you're being humble, but I think it was like 1.5 million a year. And you
Yeah,
were
that's not a
like,
lot.
yeah. Joe was like, does mine is like 200 mil. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, probably even more than that.
Right.
Because you know why? When you wrote that list, just being like real and just respectfully, you were being selfish. You were probably being selfish in that list.
Most likely.
You were only thinking about
Myself. Yes, 100%.
And that's great, right? Because you need that part of the list.
Yeah.
But then it's like, all right, think about, because you're still limiting yourself. You're still, when you're doing that, you're still limiting yourself, and you're not thinking about if you had really unlimited fucking resources.
Yeah.
And you're like, yo, you know, because I know you at your core, you're very very loving, all these things, right? Like, yo, you wouldn't want to like have like your own fucking organization, your own
Philanthropy.
and
Yeah.
or even to employ people to change lives or organizations. Like when I think of that shit, like that, my brain goes so crazy in that. I'm like, yo, I want shelters.
Yeah.
I want fucking nonprofits. I want food pantries everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it costs money.
You know, honestly, and this is a conversation I've actually had with my therapist in the last few sessions, moment of vulnerability and transparency, right? Hello, therapy without a degree. But I came to the realization not too long ago that because I've been in survival mode for so long, I have not allowed myself the opportunity to dream.
Mhm.
And she, you know, like we were talking about, she was basically like, what do you see yourself doing at the biggest level? Like with all of your dreams coming true, what do you see for yourself? And it may have just been the mindset that I was in at the time. And everyone goes through mindset shifts. I was like, I don't really have any dreams, to be honest. I can't see past like next week. I don't know what I want. And I got on the phone with one of my high school friends. Shout out to Carolina. And we were just yapping, like we were just talking. And she goes, Des, you know, I will never forget that you told me that you wanted to open up a community center and that you wanted it to have like 5, 6 different floors and that you wanted to make sure that adults and kids could have access to any music they want, any instrument that they want, anything that allows them to really gain exposure. And I almost started crying because I was like, you remember that? I was like, I barely remembered that. And for someone to have had a conversation with me one time and be like, Des, you have this huge, beautiful vision. And all of the pieces in my life are speaking towards that and are moving towards that in such a beautiful way. And her stating it back to me was so affirming because I haven't spoken to her about that since high school. And she was like, oh, Des, I never forgot about that. And so for you to be like, you know, hey, when you were making up that list, it was coming from a selfish place. Absolutely 100%. 100%. And I'm not mad about it either because I'm very selfless on my day-to-day. So yeah, I don't mind that I was being selfish making that list. But when you said that, it reminded me, in order to be the CEO of a philanthropy, in order to open up a nonprofit, I need like commercial real estate money.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to add a couple mil to
100%.
that 1.5 per year.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Joe, we're saying per year. What do you mean 1.5 mil a year is not a lot of money? He was like, it's not.
It's not.
I'm like,
Just think about your jewelry, like the gold and diamonds.
baby.
What are you gonna get? You get a couple chains and maybe a couple bracelet for $1 million.
I just heard today a colleague, I guess you could say, in the industry is making $1 million a month.
That is unfathomable to me. I don't
do you know
comprehend that.
It's honestly not a lot. Do you know how much it costs to fuel a jet?
To fuel a jet. Tell me.
A lot. How much hobby?
It depends on how big of a jet. But like,
Let's ask ChatGPT.
It's like $500,000
for the gas.
Just for the gas.
See, but I also don't, and this may be conditioning.
Mm.
I don't see any reason on the extreme splurging. I don't get it.
Like in the.
But what do you
jet?
mean? Yeah. What do you mean splurging?
Like, it's one thing to have lofty goals in servitude of others. For example, opening up a nonprofit, opening up soup kitchens and things like that. But I do think it's a very different thing. I don't need 75 24 karat gold chains.
Well,
I only need one or two.
yeah.
Need. I didn't say need though.
Yeah.
I only want one or two. I'm not gonna hold you.
You say that now.
I do say that now. I don't got the money
Okay,
to afford the other
but
ones.
but
so-
also there's also the world of if you can't buy it twice, don't buy it at all.
Mm.
Right?
But that's not really what I'm referring to. I'm referring to selfish, like not selfish spending. Over consumerism.
Yeah.
It's really just over consumerism. It's kind of like, oh, the brand new iPhone came out, I have to buy it. Like that's
Yeah,
not
not that.
my.
Yeah, not that. But
Yes.
like for the jet example, right?
Yeah.
This is ChatGPT, and it's saying at a minimum for a heavy jet for using it about 100 hours for the year is 200,000
Mm.
Okay,
just for the gas.
but for 100 hours.
Yeah.
100
In-
hours
in
is
a-
a reasonable amount of
In
time.
a year.
And
Yeah.
a year is
A
not.
hun- a typical, a long flight from one side of the world to the other is going to be about 24 hours.
And
Yeah,
what do you-
but what if you have like let's just say you're if you're doing business at this level,
yeah.
you might be doing flights once a week just for business meetings.
100 hours is not enough.
No,
to
and that's just the
raise.
gas.
Yeah.
That's not to hire your
Your
pilot.
staff.
So that's again,
Insurance.
and that's the conversation me and him have a lot.
Yeah.
Is nobody understands. Not saying you don't, but just in general, like
I mean,
it's-
I don't. I'm okay with that.
and not saying understand because I still learn too, but it's just like you got to calculate these things so you can know your
Yes.
goals
Yes.
and you could really like get either fired up. You're gonna either get fired up or you're gonna get depressed.
Yeah.
It's just gonna one or two things are gonna happen because you're gonna hear these numbers and you're gonna be like, wow, okay, you want to become a CEO of this and this now, okay, that's great, but like, okay, as CEOs at that level, right? What are they doing? They're on private jets. They're doing this. What is the cost just to maintain that life? That's probably
Right.
$1 million a year.
Right.
Just to maintain the fucking jet. Because we didn't talk about cleaning it. We didn't talk about, again, all those different things.
Servicing it.
Yeah.
Servicing it must be so expensive.
Yeah, you think servicing a BMW is expensive?
Yeah.
Try a
Imagine
private
oil
jet.
change for a fucking jet.
Yeah, it's fucking.
So like when you say $1 million a year, you know, like that's when we have to think so big and we have to really think about these numbers. You know, it's like, nah, you need probably fucking 10 million a year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
A
What
house
do-
will cost you $1 million. A house.
I mean, yes, but not a million a year, $1 million total. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I think about money.
Wait a minute though, before you go there. Yes and no though. What is your landscaping cost? What is your like people
The
don't
details.
it's multi-layered. Yeah, it's multi-layered.
You're very good at looking at very nuanced details. You're very
You
good
have
at
to.
really. You remember the episode that we did with the Latina manifestation? She has the 3 kids. I'm so mad I'm forgetting her name right now. But she was mentioning how in order to manifest something, you have to be so specific.
Yes.
You're really good at being that specific.
I've learned that from manifesting the wrong way.
Tell me more.
When I first started getting into like 2018 is when I would say I kind of got I like saved myself in the most corniest way. Like my faith just was like fully tapped in. Like I understood. Shout out to Eric Thomas, preacher,
Yes.
motivational speaker. He got me to see life at a whole different light, everything, right? And then I started tapping into my spirituality, religion, faith, all that, but also just like even manifesting things and like not even manifesting, like literally just speaking to God, like really just having these real conversations and being very vocal. And I started speaking things into, you know, the world of like even I'll get a little personal, even like with a woman that I wanted to date.
Mm.
Like I would just literally like manifest it in my mind and almost like imagine it, all that type of shit. I do that with everything. I was literally just talking with Imani. He was like, yeah, you were talking about studio before you even had anything, before you had any dollar to your name. We were there. I didn't have shit. But guess what? That's that faith. That's you speaking to God. You manifesting it. You have to be so in depth, right? So like me, I'd be like, oh yeah, I want to be with this girl, blah, blah, blah. Yo, I literally met her off of nowhere. Just seen her pictures on Instagram. I ended up like being really close with this woman. I brought her in as a friend. I manifested her into my life, but I wasn't
not romantically.
I wasn't direct enough with, and then I started playing with it. I actually manifested that apartment to the exact area of the town that it was in, and to the rent that I'm paying, and to the being able to customize it into the way we did. So like when I started playing with things like that, like because when I started testing, I would do it and I'm like, all right, I see it, but damn, I wasn't as specific. I got to be more specific. And I guess just overall with anything in life, like if you want to go after something and you want to really get it, you have to break it down. You literally have to like kind of like reverse engineer and just do it piece.
Start with the end in mind.
Yeah.
That's a saying that we have at work when it's lesson planning. Because when you're lesson planning, you're supposed to be lesson planning with the goal of getting your students to master whatever assessment gets put in front of them. So you start with the end in mind and you backwards plan.
Yeah.
So it's a concept that I'm familiar with. I guess maybe it's that I don't apply it to my personal life. I think that in general, and I talk about these kinds of personal anecdotes because I think that a lot of people go through this mindset, and it's important for me that people know that these thoughts are not being had in isolation and that there's nothing you can do about them. You know what I mean? But at times, I think that how do you dream? How do you take the details of something that doesn't exist? How do you create a roadmap to know where that exists? You know what I mean? So for example, yeah, you were manifesting a studio, you were manifesting a blank, but you didn't know how you were going to get it. You didn't know how it was going to show up. It was just, you thought what?
The small steps, and you got a lot of studying. I study the greats every day. I still do. Watch the podcast every single day. I am watching YouTubers that are successful and are where I want to be.
Yeah.
Like the Grant Cardones, the Warren Buffetts, Alex Hormozy, the Gary V's. I'm studying these people every single day. So you know how it is with education, and you study. The knowledge is out there.
What do you look for in them? What do you like as you're watching? Let's say you're watching a Grant Cardone video.
Yeah.
Are you listening? Are you looking for his mannerisms? Are you listening for how he pivots? What are you looking for in these people? Because I can watch YouTube's videos all day of people who, are experts in something, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to transfer over and then allow me or encourage me or give me the tools to take my next step. So what do you look for in
I think it will give you the tools, though. It will, some of these people, if you watch and you listen enough, you will literally learn and just, hear the trials and errors. Because again, these people have done it before. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are real people. Like, Grant Cardone was a fucking drug addict, fucking came from nothing. You know what I'm saying? Now he's fucking worth billions of dollars. So it's like he's literally giving you a little by little. You watch every fucking thing. I've watched enough content where I've heard every fucking gem. And I'm obviously continue hearing more. But like, they give it up. These people give it up on these fucking YouTubes and these things. Like, you watch your people, like, they give it up. You're not going to hear it just in one video. But again, I've watched countless episodes where they just give it up. And it's all of it. I mean, sometimes it's not really the mannerisms, sometimes it is. It's all of it. It's all the different pieces. But again, you're not getting that just from a couple of videos. You're getting that from, 6 years of content. Of just continuously educating yourself.
Because they're also evolving through that time.
Yeah.
And so whatever you learn from their experience year 1, you now also get to hear their evolution in year 6 or year 7.
Yeah.
And how they're able to now reflect on year 1, what their losses were when they thought they were great, or when they thought they were at the pinnacle of their success, and then you kind of see them be able to reinvent themselves.
Yeah.
Um,
But, or even also, though, more even into that, the years are even so much more than that. Like, for an example, like a Grant, right? Grant is 60 something years old, 66, 67 years old. He's been doing this since he was 20 years old. You know, he's been in the game for a plethora of years. And obviously the last like 13, 15 years is when his wealth really kicked in. But it's like, dog, this dude, you know, again, or like a Warren Buffett or like Alex Ramosi. Alex Ramosi's been doing this shit since he was fucking 18, 19. Like, you know, young kid, you see the pictures. Gary V's been doing this shit forever. So it's like, yeah, you get to see that in real time growth, but you also at the same time have to make your own moves too. So while you're getting mentored and shit by them, you're learning from your own moves, moving those pieces together. But yeah, it's just continue. And then it's like the small steps. And that's kind of in the details as well.
Mm.
The details is in the small steps, not over focusing on that end goal that you said is like almost imaginary. Like I don't even like the word dreams because
yeah.
because it sounds very imaginatory. It
Yes.
sounds like it's like unrealistic. But if you have like set goals, targets, dates, it's a lot easier because it's a target. It's a date. We're not stopping until we get there. You know, it's not like a dream. Oh, I dream, I hope. No, it ain't no hope.
Yeah, you know, because especially for myself, something that I have to remind myself of is that for someone my age, I'm in a really good position and I'm actually better off than a lot of my peers.
Mm.
The issue that I have with that is that I don't want to compare myself to people who are doing worse than me. That to me does nothing. You know, I've had people around me who would say things like, oh, you know, like you're complaining, but there are people who are so much worse off than you. And my response has always been, why would I compare myself to people who are worse off than me? That has no correlation to me. That means nothing to me. So sometimes I'm like, all right, well, you know what? I have a steady career. I'm making an impact. Kids adore me. I bring joy to a building. I've been able to now teach generations of kids. I've been able to make an impact in a community. Why am I so dissatisfied with my work? Why is it that I want such a intense pivot? At one point, I was like, I'm about to risk it all. I'm about to just go virtual, go live in the Dominican Republic in a hut, and just live at the beach and just call it a life.
Hmm.
And I had to really sit back and think to myself, like, what am I running away from? What am I trying to avoid? What is the deeper work that I'm trying to avoid in wanting to take the easy way out, the fast route of, let me just get out of here, you know? And, you know, the devil is in the detail. I think that it's a lot harder to sit down with yourself and say, what do you want? What do you actually want? Okay, how are we going to get there? How are we going to make sure we don't take our foot off the gas until it's done? Because it's really easy to drop everything and be like, I'm out, I'm good.
Yeah.
It's really easy to book a one-way flight to the Dominican Republic, get a $50,000 a year work from home job, get on a fake, what is it, IP? Get a fake IP,
Oh yeah.
get a fake IP address, and rack up living by the beach, ignoring the rest of your world.
But that's average. That's average.
That's
living
average.
Javi, what about you? Have you ever done that list? Have you ever done, or have you ever thought about what that looks like?
No, I've never sat there and I've written it down.
I think you should.
It's impactful.
Mm.
Yo, I
I'll try
started
it.
realizing what I really want from life, and it was a very impactful exercise. I think it's one of the most impactful exercises I've done in a long time.
Wow.
And it came from Joe Fucarino.
Hey.
It came from this guy right here.
Yes, sir.
I'm happy to hear that because again, a lot of people just don't think about it and they just don't want to be very. Again, they think it's unrealistic. They think like, why would I ever even? They do like their day to day, or they work with like their budget of how much they're making, and then I could pay this, I could do that. If I made more of this, bro.
Think bigger.
Yeah, like think bigger, like bro. It's
And I'm still small-minded when I'm thinking about it, honestly. If I'm holding the mirror up to myself, like you said, 1.5 ain't that much, baby. Like, it's really not. And I didn't take into consideration the lives I want to impact and the ways I could at a global scale. You know, I thought so small. And do the activity, Javi.
Mm.
Do the
I'll
activity.
definitely do it.
Ask him to prompt you the right way, though. I didn't prompt it the right way.
Yeah.
He prompted it the right
Exactly
way.
how to do it. I'll do it.
Well, no, I mean, and I think everyone that's listening and watching this should do it too. It's also Julia, Priscilla, y'all should do it as well.
Real talk. Real talk.
I just, again, it will either motivate you or depress you. I think it'll definitely get you, hopefully it will get you fired up. But you literally should, your ideal life, your ideal self, like what it is that you want to, again, what clothes you want to be wearing, how do you want your kids' life to be? Like if everything was just limitless, like if it was just like a fucking video game, like what would it be?
Like my budget included a nanny. My budget included cleaning services. My budget included a private chef, and still I was thinking too small. Because I was thinking about what I wanted handled in my daily life and the habits I wanted for my kids. And even though that's a great foundation, that's just the foundation. You got to be able to build up and be like, well, what was really the big vision? What was the purpose that God put into my heart? How am I going to actually push that out?
100%. Like, yo, right now in this room, my shit would be over 2 million. I'd want to you get paid 500 million a year. You get 500 million a year. You get like, but seriously,
you see,
like that's how I would, like that's the
Yeah.
goal. Like
Yeah.
that's like just that. That's fucking 2 million a year.
just off salaries.
Seriously,
Yeah.
like you got to think like fucking so big. And when you start thinking like that, again, it's gonna just get you fired up. All right. I was with E today. We were talking about 50 Cent. I always said like how 50 for me has been like a big inspiration as well. I study him. Same thing. Yo, how much you think his payroll is a month?
Payroll.
His payroll.
Couple million.
I have no idea.
For everything, all this TV, he has like 13 TV shows he's producing and all the different things.
Really?
Yeah. People don't know, but he be grinding. He has like 13 shows that he's like executive producer on.
I had no idea.
50 Cent makes a lot of money.
I know he got a lot
But
of money,
how
but-
much you think his payroll is?
I couldn't tell you.
I'd say 3 million a month, a year,
Maybe more.
maybe more. 13 shows.
Shows, bro.
And you know they
Direct-
getting paid.
Directors.
Right.
Yeah, those guys are
Damn.
getting paid a lot.
What do you think his expenses are in a month?
Like 20 mil.
I wouldn't.
Who
say
knows? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo,
million.
it's crazy. Like, when you start thinking about that, and then on a positive side, think about how many impact in lives he's impacting. How many people he's able to provide jobs to, how many people he's able to, help and give something a career that they like and shit like that. Like, when you think about those numbers, like that shit is, powerful. Seriously, like when you think of that, like, or like Warren Buffett, when you think of Warren Buffett, what's the payroll under his fucking entity look like a month?
Billions.
It also makes me wonder from a woman's perspective, like, and again, it may be coming from an area of ignorance, like maybe I just don't know these women, but it's sometimes hard for me to see myself in a grand position of power and influence. And sometimes I feel like it's because I don't see it too often. Like, Gabrielle Union is awesome. Oprah Winfrey is awesome.
Come on, there's way more than that.
Yeah, and I hear you. And then
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's funny though, because actually someone that we all know, I've had that conversation with. And they're like, well, I want to see this ethnicity. I want to see them. And I'm like, yo, you'll find it. But again, you got to dig. You got to do you got to find like, yo, me and Javi talking about this shit all the time. These YouTubers and these people, they are there.
Like, because to me, Warren Buffett, an old white man who's rich, oh, yay.
Yeah, but you say it like that. But that dude came from like,
He came from dirt poor Nebraska.
Yeah.
Fucking
that's
country.
Just
Feeding
cause,
up
yeah.
cow shit, literally.
People, you look at him now and you judge him now for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But really, what he built?
Learning his story is different.
It's
Charlie Munger, he just died a year and a half ago. That was his partner in crime. They made billions.
And again, Jeff Bezos, everyone always wants to clown him and talk.
American.
Like, again, everyone, because you know what they do? Because they think they can't do it. So anytime, it's just like society. Once people feel that someone is like greater than them, that they can't do it, they just start hating and just start making these. Yeah, it's like that.
It's so interesting you mentioned that. Today on my way over here, I had a thought. I have been only listening to gospel music lately. It's just something that's called to me. I haven't been like pushing anything away. It's just that lately it's the only thing that fills my spirit.
Mm.
And I came across this one artist's story and how he was gang banging. He was like drinking lean. He was getting high, like all the things. He was repping sets, like out in the street. He came real close to death and God saved him. And now he only produces gospel music. And as I was listening to his story, I was driving down a specific street in Newark where I work. And I was seeing like gangbangers on the street, like just like kind of like walking around, holding the block down type shit. And I was blasting my gospel music with the sunroof down, not thinking about my surroundings, thinking about filling my own cup.
Mm.
And the thought dawned on me. When I was not developing a relationship with Jesus and with God, gospel music used to make me cringe. And it made me realize that that cringe response, that dismissive response, is your brain reacting to something extremely unfamiliar. Just from like a psychological perspective. When something is unfamiliar, your brain immediately begins to attack it. And so it makes me kind of connect to the idea of what you're saying, where people see, no matter the ethnicity, no matter the means by which they got it, they could have gotten it out the mud. They could have inherited it. It doesn't really matter. If someone else thinks it's impossible, in their mind, it's buffoonery.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah, we run to hate and all that. Or like I was literally talking to Zane last night. He was saying he had like a Zoom call, and he was like, oh, like a pyramid scheme. And I was like, yeah, they work. There and again, and the reason why, you know why that name is like so often used?
What's his name? Murdoch.
Bernie Murdoch.
Wasn't it because of Murdoch?
The
Murdoch created the first pyramid scheme that got uncovered.
No. He created a Ponzi scheme. Pyramid scheme is different.
See, and that's where people get confused, right? And also with a pyramid scheme, I'm a firm believer most of that term got popularized in social media and things like that. You know why? It's hard as fuck.
Mm.
A lot of people failed at it.
Yeah.
So when people fail at it, they think, oh, it's a scheme, it's a scam. Everyone always calls it something like that when they fail at it. It's like a very immature type of thing. And it's like, nah, like, bro, you look it up. Again, just do the research, do the homework. There's people making fucking millions of multi-millions of dollars from these pyramid schemes. You know what it is, though? It's hard work.
Yes.
It's unorthodox. It's untraditional. It's not fucking easy. It's not, here's a salary, go work. No, you got to go out there and get your commission, go get your hustle. That's not a scam. That's just for the hustlers and for the 1% or
Correct.
for the, you did it for a little while, right?
Yeah.
How many people fucking making mad money with that shit?
Bro, so many people are making millions.
Listen, Herbalife, it's not necessarily a pyramid scheme, but it's that whole like you gotta hustle to make your sales, and the more
It's called network marketing.
Yes.
And that's the thing. And it's just like, that's kind of in the same
It is.
ballpark. It's in the same thing as when people just, they try it, they didn't get paid. They did it for 6 months, a year. Oh, I didn't get paid. It's a fucking scheme. No, you just didn't work hard enough.
Correct.
Simple as that. But everyone wants to fucking put the blame always on other people.
Mm.
Like, what, you just supposed to get a check just to get a check?
Because you were here.
Yeah.
Right.
No, you got to put in the work.
Mm.
So it goes back to a lot of those different things.
Yeah.
Just in very real life, situations and shit. But it's always in the details. So like, and again, it's breaking it down.
And you have to sit with yourself to be able to do that. And I also believe that nowadays people don't have the capacity to sit with themselves for too long. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't. For Lent, I decided to cut off some habits. And I had a friend of mine, a college friend, he put on his notes that he was going sober for Lent. He wasn't drinking any alcohol. And I DM'd him and I was like, yo, that's good for you. Like, you know, keep your faith strong, like stay focused on why you're doing this. And he was like, yo, it's so fucking hard. And like, to me, I'm not a big drinker, so like I can't necessarily relate on that end. And I'm like, you know what? Like, really battle with yourself. Sit sober and see why it is that it's so hard for you to sit with yourself. What does drinking alcohol remove from your mind? Because in your reality, that actually is there, very present all the time. The only time it's not present is when you're drinking. And that's not that's not real. That's not your reality. And so when people disassociate, it's so easy to find something else as opposed to sitting down with yourself and putting pencil to paper and saying, what is going on? Where am I? Where's my alignment? Who am I? What do I want? How do I get there? To really do the mental work, the heavy lifting of answering questions with whatever answers really do pour out of you and facing those responses. It was really hard for me to sit down and be like, yo, I don't dream anymore. But also, to the point that you made earlier, I don't know if that's a bad thing. I don't know if I want to be a dreamer. My dad has always said, I told my dad one time, I was like, Dad, you're making your dreams come true. He goes, honey, I don't dream. Dreams are for sleepers. I don't sleep.
Word.
I got goals. I'm like,
I
that's
like
my dad.
that.
Yeah, that's my
I
dad.
like that.
I'm sure you did.
Yes.
I knew you would.
Shout out to Dad.
Shout out to Dad. Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's true.
where's my fucking gunshots, yo? Boom, boom, yo.
He's right. So, you know, like sometimes it's the back and forth. You know, we beat ourselves up for having one perspective, then we get another perspective introduced to ourselves, and then we have to go back and heal all the beating up that we did over something that we didn't understand because we only saw it the way society fed it to us as opposed to what really spoke to us. And sometimes we got to allow God to just talk to us without society getting in the way. Society's real good at getting in the way.
Javi, do you ever battle moments like that?
I don't know. My day to day is just focused on like the mission in front of me. Like I have goals that I set for myself each week, month, and year, and I just every so often I just go back and then look at how far I've come from where I started at, and I make adjustments daily. You know, there's gonna be days where you don't feel like doing certain things, but you just have to power through it and just try to do your best. I mean, that's really the way I approach everything I do.
Yeah, you said like a lot of targets and stuff. Like you definitely. What do you think got you into that? Like the target, because you'll be like, all right, this is like bulk season.
Yeah.
This is this, or I'm gonna hit up this many people. Like you have those targets. What made you get into that mode?
Really, I just want to be the kind of person who is known for keeping their word. Not only just telling the truth, but like if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. So like I set those kinds of goals with those kinds of things because it kind of sets up the discipline for the bigger things, for the business things and the meetings and the important things. Not to say like it's, you know, the gym and like what I eat is not important, but it's levels to importance. So that's really what I want to do. I want to lock that up and just know like that part of my life is I'm locked in. Like I will do what I say, and that just helps me feel better about myself. It unlocks my character in, and I just feel like that's the best way to do it.
Yeah. I think, and you know, it's a very real point, like what you mentioned earlier about just like seeing things of examples of, like you said, of finding a woman that is super successful here, there, right? Like again, you have to dig and you got to like find these people because they're out there. You know, also, I do think it really, really goes back to like we talk about a lot on this podcast, your environments, right? And because of the internet, the power of the internet, yo, you literally can find your tribes and your environments. Like really, like I've been a part of like, yo, there was this again, Eric Thomas, right? Shout out to him. He literally has this whole community, and it used to be called Breathe University. And then, you know, people would sign up for it, and it was just like personal development, professional development. It was a group of just thousands of people in a Facebook group that would just every single day uplift each other. like motivate each other, talk about their goals, talk about their visions, like super just people that were striving for success, people that were successful, people that weren't, people that were just trying to chase it. And it's like, it was literally to the point where like we would do meetups. We would literally like in the inner cities, like, yo, there's a lot of us in Jersey. Let's do it. Let's do a meetup.
Wow.
And then like play fucking cash flow, which I don't know if anyone has ever heard of that. Kind of similar to like a Monopoly type of thing.
Robert Kiyosaki's
Yeah.
cash flow. I know.
And it's like we would just link up and play that. And
That's
like
fire.
that was the mindset. That's the energy that we're always bringing to the table. And even when you immerse yourself in that, it's like you're going to start hearing about the woman that's, she's a trainer and she has this business and she's doing that and she's doing that. And it's just like you're immersing yourself in that. But you have to go out and find that. It's just not going to be, out there. You have to like literally actively search for these types of things. Even like with a Grant Cardone community, there's communities there. You got to just dig yourself into these groups and you got to find these things. You got to go to these networking events. You got to like be super proactive and like we were using in our side messages earlier, intentional. You got to be very intentional about digging into these different worlds that you want to be. And if you do, you'd be surprised what you find. You'd be surprised at like recently I started getting into Alex Ramosi because I was continuously always studying the grants and the Garys. So what's going to happen? My algorithm is just going to show me these other fucking super successful ass dudes, and you start to get to know their story. Because especially with the internet, it'll feed you. So if it you start watching a few things, it's going to start showing you other stuff. So it's like now it's like anyone that's listening to this or whatever, if you want to like find, like if you're a woman, and you're from a certain country, if you're from Brazil and you're trying to find another woman from Brazil who just made it big and just changed her whole life, I guarantee you will. But you got to dig for it. You got to do the research.
The intentionality behind it.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask Kavi, like going back to your goal setting, how do you plan for your goals?
Like, what do you mean?
How do you so you have an end goal, right? Like you have this bigger vision, dream, whatever word you want to put to it. Joe was mentioning, and maybe it's obviously conversations that you guys have had offline, but you plan daily, weekly, monthly, yearly goals. What is the driving factor, and how do you decide what is the highest priority, what comes next on the list, and then ultimately what choice is going to drive you closer to that end goal?
Well, I kind of work backwards. So I'll look at what I want. Like, let's say, for example, I want, let's just say a car in this example. Let's say I want a car, but the car costs 100 grand. I don't have the 100 grand yet. So I have to look at what actions is going to take me. I have to increase my value. That's the way that I look at everything. Like, we all want a lot of money and we all want to be rich, but we have to understand that that's directly correlated to how valuable you are to society or to a team. So if I want the car, I have to say, okay, well, I have to either make $100,000 working a job, which is going to take me years, right? If I'm not making 100 grand a year, it's going to take me more than a year. Or I have to sell something, whether it be a service or a product. So I look at what I know, like my knowledge. What can I sell? What can I do to earn money to buy this thing? And then I sell. I work backwards and I say, okay, well, I got to sell $110,000 packages. Then I put together a package. That's that. And then I look for customers and I eventually sell it. And whether it takes me a year or 6 months or 8 months or more than that, then boom. But I've increased my value. I've helped enough people. I've given people enough information that's worth, I'm worth that much. And then
value is such an interesting concept.
Right. Because it's not always correlated to the cost. Like, it's like when people go pawn jewelry. Like if you're pawning a jewelry, it's because you need the money more than what the item is worth.
100%.
Even if it's sentimental to you, which is priceless to some people, but they need the money. So they're willing to give up the value for the cost of the money. So it's like the same thing. Like it's the same thing in sales. Like when you're pitching people and they say, "Oh my God, it's so expensive." Well, let's break the cost down, and I can tell you how valuable it'll be to you and your organization. Like let's say, for example, I'm selling a package, and the package is $2,000 a month. Well, to you, you might say that's a lot, but do you have a full-time employee? Well, it's less than your full-time employee.
How valuable will this be to you?
You're on, you know what I mean? And whatever my package is, right? So that's the way that you gotta look at life like that. And my driving factor is I want to better. The world that I see today is very dark, and it's very like, not to say that there's not light, because of course you are who you hang around, but just like the overall umbrella of our society is not headed in a good place. We're trying to fix it, but it's not headed in a good place. So that's why I don't stress about those type of things. I don't stress about politics. I don't care about the society. Not that I don't care, but I don't let it run my life, because I know that I have no control over it. I can only have control over what I can work and what's in my immediate surroundings.
Control the controllables.
Exactly. So like I'm not gonna let myself be ruled by stress or anxiety or anger or fear, because I can the one thing that we all do have control over is our own thoughts. Nobody can control our thoughts. They can influence the way that we think, but they cannot control us. So you just have to shut down the mechanisms of how you are controlled. So you don't pay attention to the bullshit online, and you focus on what you got to do in your business. I want to build a family. I want to have a strong family unit. I need to have, like I went back to what I was talking about before, good character. I have to have a strong character to build a strong family unit. So you got to lock in and just do that. So that's what drives me each and every day.
When you talk about values in a non-financial way, so forget about the car. You're talking about wanting to build a family, or even with fitness, because fitness is a huge part of who you are as well. How do values then connect to, how does being valuable in fitness allow you to obtain your goals? Or am I thinking about it in the wrong way?
How can I be valuable in the fitness space? Like when I create content for other people, you mean?
So like you mentioned that when you plan for your goals,
Right.
the main thing that you think about is like being able to bring value to a situation.
Right.
Now, maybe you were just thinking about financial goals when you mentioned that, like bringing value to something then allows for something to be valuable, and then there's an exchange that happens financially. Right. What I'm wondering is, because for me, and again, it may be a mindset limitation, but I'm not thinking about financial goals. My brain is more wired to think about like character, habits.
Well, that's even easier than financial, because when you, like, let's say, for example, I go to the gym at 5 a.m. in the morning. That's teaching me discipline, and that's a habit. Like Joe
value.
Talks, right, because it's providing value not only to you because you're going to the gym and you're healthy and you're building discipline and you're up early, you're becoming a person who starts their day earlier than everyone else. Like you just get ahead of everyone, and it's just like it's so difficult to explain the way that I like.
But you're adding value to yourself.
I was just gonna say yes.
Your family, like in this case, like if I'm a family man, I need to make sure that I'm healthy, because I need to not only have my body right, but I need to have my mind right, because when I come back from the gym and my kids are up and I gotta make breakfast and I gotta make sure my wife is good, like, you know what I mean, like all those things, like.
Yes, Javi. It's giving husband Javi.
But you have to have your routine locked down to be able to take care of a big family. You can't just be
beautifully said. Yes.
You feel me? So that's the way that I think about it.
Beautifully said, Javi.
Yeah, you gotta be the best version of you. To then be able to give that to other people.
100%.
And when I say that too, I think a lot of people sometimes they get twisted around that and they think that they gotta wait till their best self to then just actively work on yourself.
Now
Correct.
is the time.
Yeah, because you don't want to wait, because there's no such thing as perfect. So if you keep trying to be like, oh, I gotta work on me until I'm XY, you're just gonna be sent, because we're always in a forever growth. So you're always going to continue to grow yourself.
Don't get me started, Joe.
Why?
Because we're going to get personal. I don't care.
Do it.
Because the number of men that have used that lame ass excuse of, I'm just not where I want to be. I just need to be focused on me. To a certain extent, yes. But when you see a gem in front of you, or if it's a few centimeters below the earth, you don't stop digging.
No.
You don't just say, oh my God, I gotta just go to the gym. I gotta go focus on me. I gotta stop what I'm doing. No, you cultivate at the same time.
Okay.
You take what you have in front of you and you make it work. You work on the shitty parts of yourself in conjunction with whatever else is in front of you. For example, I will be going back to school to get my PsyD, my clinical PsyD. So this will be therapy with a degree soon. And if I have that mindset, that limited mindset of I can only juggle one ball at a time, then I'm going to go sleep on my mom's couch so that I can go get my PsyD. That will not be my reality. So that means that as a single woman holding down a 9-to-5, having extra responsibilities in her 9-to-5, and going to school, I'm responsible for the food I eat. I'm responsible for the rent I pay. I'm responsible for the cleanliness of my home. I'm responsible for all of the expectations that allow me to live and exist. And on top of that, I am now introducing a new responsibility onto my plate. What am I going to do? Say, screw the apartment, screw everything I've worked to build up so that I can now focus all of my attention on this one thing? Fitness, same thing. What am I going to say? Oh my God, I can't dedicate time to the gym and have a full-time job. That sounds
That's just excuses.
insane.
And most of the time, what people a lot of times forget or don't even realize, these things that you're adding to your plate probably will actually benefit these other things.
100%.
Like if you're back to the relationship thing, like, yo, if you're with someone, like for me, if I'm doing something, I would hope that, my wife is actually, she's going to benefit, like she's going to help me get to those goals faster.
Yes, sir.
So if I'm still in that work in progress and I'm still trying to get there, yeah, that's great. But now, this partner I should bring into my life, they should in some capacity, maybe it's relieving me more. Maybe it's me, getting me more at ease or less stressed, or helping with the business. It could not be. Or helping around something around the house. Like, as a man, like I do the groceries, I cook, I do the laundry, I do all that shit, right? Sometimes even just having someone to be like, yo, you know what? I'm gonna help with some of the house shit while you could do the work shit, because that's what you do. That right there is helping. So people don't understand, like, that's just, so if anyone says that, ladies, if a dude says that to you, or guys, ladies, that's just an excuse.
Red flag.
Yeah,
red flag.
That shit is a red flag blinking.
He can't handle his life. Not your problem. Keep it moving.
100%.
And I say that, so there's this quote that's around the school building. And it says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Exactly.
And I am such an advocate for building community, for having a village. I have seen what it does to a child when they have a village behind them. I've also seen what it does to a child to have nobody in their corner.
And that always doesn't mean, I do want to bring up the point, because a lot of times, like I used to work with someone that was very just like team, right? And I was like, yes. But sometimes the way I go about it is differently, right? You could be a unit, but that doesn't mean you need to be both doing the same exact thing at the same time. Like, we don't need to be both both doing the laundry, I'm washing, you're folding. We don't need it. Like, that doesn't, I could be doing my thing.
That's bonding.
While you're doing something else.
100%.
So, like, I think people sometimes get confused. Like, you could bring that, like, that partner in your life, again, could just be helping out with other things while you're doing this one thing that's actually helping you with this thing without them doing that exact thing.
100%.
And I think people get confused about that. They think they have to be in the ring with them. But it's like, no, you just need to help me out in another area of my fucking universe. To, like, just something in there, whether it's work shit, whether it's shit around the house, whether it's just helping me decompress. Like,
Correct. Like, if I'm stressed out because of work, your role is not to do my work for me. my partner's role is to identify that I'm stressed, think about who I am as their person, and find a way to relieve that stress for me. That's what a partnership is. If I am studying stocks and trying to read data for 2-3 hours, I don't need my partner to be doing the same thing as me. Maybe I need my partner to go get me lunch so I don't have to go do that myself. Maybe I need my partner to run an errand for me.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how my partner helps me. And a lot of times I've seen that people will very quickly be like, I have too much on my plate. And it's like, do you recognize that people are trying to alleviate what's on your plate? Are you able to accept the help when it's being presented to you? The biggest piece of feedback I have gotten in the 8 years I've been in my building is that I don't know how to ask for help. It is the biggest piece of feedback I get, is that I want to do everything by myself. And a big part of it for me is control. You're not going to do it better than me. Sorry, I don't trust you with my baby. I don't trust you with my project. I don't trust you with it. And sometimes we have to allow people to fail and get better so that they now become empowered to become leaders. Giving them the ball and teaching them how to juggle it allows them to become empowered, as opposed to removing power, taking control, being selfish with it, and never allowing the people around you to grow.
Yeah. That's major in growth. I was talking to Imani about that today too. Like, yo, and y'all know just from being in this business, sometimes it's like, but you can't, how could you fit, like, and I talk about it in our meetings all the time. You can tell them like, yo, there's like 40 something accounts. How you expect like one or two of us to be in everything? No, right? Ego or like control or just want to do it yourself would have your hands in fucking everything, right? Because you would be worried about, oh, well, if I give this role to this person, it's going to fuck up, and you have to be willing to risk it. You have to, because if not, you're not going to have that growth. Like, shout out to my pops all the time. He might be even listening to this. So many years, like, oh, I want to hire someone that doesn't want to do what I do and all that, but you're just limiting your growth. You're limiting, it's just one, it's you. You only have so many hours in a day. So you have to, like, if you don't ask for help, you're just not asking for the growth, because we're looking at it as like a weakness, and we're looking at it as, again, I think just a weakness, like a clear or like, but you have to, if you want to grow, you need the help from others to be able to get to that destination, because you only have so many hours in a day. You only have so many hands. You only this, and then, okay, yeah, do all of it yourself. You will be capped at a certain level, because it is impossible. You're not a superhuman.
It is so funny you say that, because one of my homeboys, one of the most impressionable comments that he made to me, we were talking about something, and he goes, yo, Des, I never see you asking people for help. I always see you helping people out, always doing something for somebody. But who's on your team? Who's helping you out? Who's helping you? And I'm like, damn, wait a minute. I got this a little backwards. And he's like, nah, I don't see nobody running to your side to help you out. Part of it is on me, because I'm not asking for help. You can't cultivate a team without doing the cultivating. You got to put in the work and ask for the help that you desire. And first, in order to ask for the help that you desire, you have to identify, in what areas of my life would I like to level up? How can you always talk about this, how can I already leverage the people who are already in my life? That is such a huge key. Like, there are so many people in your circle, in your second circle, in your third circle, who have what you're looking for and are willing and able to give it to you. But if you don't go out and get it, you're not going to know it exists. And if it does not exist in your mind, then it will not become your reality. It has to exist first in your mind. If something does not exist in your mind, you will not be able to create it.
Yo, Javi, how much are we selling this episode for?
Baby,
we gems. $9.97 special, bro.
This is. I don't think we could give this one for free.
Nah, this has got to be.
I don't think we could get it. Yo, what do y'all think? Julia, how much we selling this episode for?
No insurance, so mad money.
No insurance, right? Mad money. Yo, let's go. That was a fire episode,
That
yo.
was fire.
We didn't even introduce ourselves.
No, fuck it. We just went right into it. It's all right.
Why?
I'm Joe. Hi.
I'm Javi. Nice to meet you guys.
Des.
We here in the building. Backwards episode today.
Backwards planning, baby.
We got Julie on the ones and twos. We got Priscilla over there making sure everything is copacetic. All right, looking amazing. Let's go. Therapy Without a Degree. Chapter probably 320, 319, 318. We're reverse engineering these episodes.
Baby.
You know what I'm saying? Who knows what episode it is?
Yeah.
We are looking good in here. We're trying to, make some fucking moves happen. All right. If you were a sponsor, your ad could be here.
Right here.
Maybe Nike socks. Maybe a little sponsor. Give us some free socks.
Nike, baby,
Nice.
Nike.
Just do it.
Just do it.
That's one of my phrases too.
Mm.
That's one of my phrases. Just do it, right? You gotta get the Yankees to sponsor.
Oh. That was quick.
that would be fire.
That would be fire.
Yo, you should, Julia, the next time you're on, you should tell the story about the 11. Because that's crazy. That's crazy. We got to talk about that. Did you see the video I sent you on Instagram? Check your personal IG. I sent you a video last night. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it on here. I'm gonna try not to cry when I play it, but I'm gonna play it. Yeah. It was one of the first.
It's a good one.
It was one of the first promo videos. Almost, it was actually like the second promo video we ever did for Therapy Without a Degree. Let me try to find it.
What's going on, people? Walt Bauer here from Therapy Without a Degree podcast. I want you guys to do me a favor, big favor. Check us out. We are on SoundCloud. We are on iTunes. We are also on Google Play now. We are everywhere. We're constantly posting on social media. Instagram at Therapy Without a Degree. Therapy Without a Degree at gmail.com if you want to hit us up on the email. We will talk to you about anything, anytime, any place. You need anything, we are here. We're ready to do it. Let's go. Check us out, all right?
With the OG hoodie.
Aww.
Tell me I'm not his niece. I knew that was him. In a blue hoodie. Right away.
With the OG, yo, that one, we had the logo already made. The logo was this, but the graphic designer couldn't get the font and shit.
You
But
did it right.
that was some people still got that. Some people still got that hoodie, yo. Shout out to y'all. This was 2016. Shit, legendary.
Baby.
Legendary.
Yo, the idea just came to me. Therapy Thursdays.
Yeah, therapy.
That's what it
Thursdays.
used to be. Oh no, it used to be Therapy Tuesdays.
Tuesdays, yeah.
Therapy Thursdays for sure.
it's Therapy.
100%.
Therapy Thursdays, and then we
Therapy
got Julia's
Thursdays.
almost. I've been missing your almost Fridays. What's up?
I know we haven't been taking photos.
You gotta take them, girl. That's y'all.
Wait, what are almost Fridays?
So like you just like
Give this girl a mic.
Right now.
so you just basically you never seen like the memes? It's like funny photos of people and it's like, trying to get it hyped up that it's almost Friday. So there's a big account, they have like 1 million followers of Almost Friday. Well, it's called Friday Beers. That's
Beer?
Friday Beers, like beers.
Beers.
That's the account name. But they post Almost Friday pictures and it's like you can send in your photos for it. So like
I need Jules to get on that.
sports teams do it. My brother's high school has a Loda High School Almost Fridays account. It's so funny. But I was doing it a lot. I did it for like I think it was 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, too. You were consistent,
I was
and,
seeing the content.
and it was she was doing
that was
it.
you?
Yeah.
I liked it.
We need it back.
Like,
Nah,
you gotta
facts.
Send me photos for
Yeah,
Almost Fridays.
exactly.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Hey.
Therapy Without a Degree. We out of here.
Peace.
Peace.